Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this sweet little window card. I'm going to change my colour scheme and I'm going to be using Pacific Point today. So the card pieces you're going to need is a card base which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, which is 21 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5. Then you need a layer of Whisper White cardstock, which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 inches. And 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And a piece of Pacific Point which measures 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches approximately, which is 6 by 6 centimetres approximately. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my little design across the front here, and you may notice that the design on the pool party one, I actually added it on after I'd done these pieces. There's no bits overlapping or gone off the edge or anything, because what happened was, while I was I'd made the card and I'd done the 2 windows, and I was faced with this big amount of blank cardstock and I just didn't like the look of it, so I didn't want to emboss it, dry emboss it. I thought about it, but I wasn't sure quite how it would react with the faux stitches that I'd put around here and around here. I didn't know whether it would sort of, whichever design I used, how it would distort them. So I just decided that I would find a little stamp that would work, and I saw this one, which is from, in fact I forgot to show you, didn't I? This is from Cake Soiree, which comes in 2 boxes, and I like this one because it's got the little circles so that I can colour those with the white to blend in with the white faux stitching. So I just make sure it comes off the cardstock here and there. I think that looks pretty uneven. Okay, so that's that, and I'm going to just colour the dots with my white gel pen. Now, I know it's boring watching somebody do something so tedious, but I've got something to tell you anyway, and that is I am offering the large letters stamps and the large letter framelits to one lucky person who shops in my online Stampin' Up shop during January. If you've already placed an order, your name has already been put in for the draw, but it's for anybody who shops in my online shop during January. Their name will be put into a hat, and one lucky person will win the letter stamps and the letter framelits. So that's really well worth a prize having. As YouTube watchers, I'm sure you've seen lots and lots of projects that people have done using them. To me, they just are absolutely brilliant. I've certainly done my fair share of videos using them. We are going through celebration at the moment, which means that for every £45 or €60 you spend, you can choose a free gift from the celebration catalogue. It's for every £45 for every €60, which means if your order is £90 or €120, you can choose 2 free gifts. This year, Stampin' Up have introduced 2 gifts that are worth £90. So if your order is £90, you can choose one of those. If your order is £135, or €120, you could choose one £90 gift or 2 £45 gifts. You have the choice. There we go. So that's that done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop my white piece in the middle, because I don't want that moving about once I start stamping on it. And I'm going to use Tombow. I think I should have cut the window out first, but never mind. I don't think this will do it any harm. If it does, then I have to stop and restart again. But there we go. In fact, what I think I would do is I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath my cardstock while I'm using my Big Shot. When I did this one and I cut the window out, because my cutting mats are so very well used, it left some little scratches around there. So I cut this frame out and adhered it over, and it's covered them all up. But an extra benefit of that is it's actually reinforced the card, because it is just single layer, but there it's double layer now. And you know, even if it wasn't damaging mine now, I would still put that liner on there. I didn't really bring my trolley close enough to me today. I wonder if I can, yeah, do that without knocking anything else over. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my plain piece on there first, and I'm going to face that down. Right, the squares that I'm using are from the Layering Squares Framelits dies, and I'm using numbers 4 and 5. So the actual window is being cut with the smaller one. So I'm just, oh, that's good, it's going to cut that one off where I got the extra line. I thought it would. Now I just want to make sure that that is straight. I'm just eyeballing whether that's about the same gap as that. I'm not sure, I'm not worried what the distance is. Right, that's 1 over the 5. Yep, that looks straight to me. So just don't knock it. Okay, so let's just cut that bit out first. Oops. Of course it's a bit thicker because I got that extra bit of paper in there. But not too thick. So let's have a look. Obviously it cut the white piece out with it. But no, this is all fine. And that's nowhere near as badly scratched. It is still scratched, but not as bad had I not put that white paper there. That's rubbish, I'll keep that one. So now I'm going to use both of the squares with my 2 1/4. Now these are layering dies, so they fit inside each other beautifully, if that stops going walkabouts. So I'm just nesting the 2 inside each other. Now it's okay to do this as long as you watch it and you make sure they don't overlap each other. Okay, so I'm going to hold that down to make sure that it doesn't start moving. There we go. Oops. Like if you cut that really proper straight, shall we say, you've got another frame there as well. Right, so we don't need the square, we'll save that for something as well. So there's our little frame bit. Okay, so let's pop those on there. Let me just show you that stamp set. Cake Soiree, one of 2 boxes, and it's just that little one that I've used for the decorate the front. Right, let's get these out of the way. Right. So what do we want to do next? I think we'll do the cat. And the way that I do this is with using my really good friend, my Stamp-a-ma-jig, which I got lined up here. You see, that is going to be far too big for my window. And if I just stamped it in there, it could be too high, too low. But with my Stamp-a-ma-jig, I'm going to get that just in the right position. Okay, so what I want to do is get it positioned like that. Okay, I lose his tail, but at least I get these 2 in. And I think I prefer to have an image that is bigger than the actual window, because I think when somebody's got the surprise of having these little windows here, it's nice when they open it up and the surprise just gets a bit bigger, rather than just having an image that, say, just the cat on its own and it's white all the way round and then it's white again. There's no real additional surprise to it. So what I'm going to do is, now let me think, how did I do this? That's my tool. I think I made sure that I lined this up. Why did I do that? No, of course you didn't do it like that. How are you going to open it up if you've got your Stamp-a-ma-jig in place? What I did was I took a pencil and I just drew a line down both sides, four sides, not both sides, each side. Got a few hairy bits here. Let's just get rid of those. Right, so now you can see I've got my 4 lines. So what I can do is I can put Bella and the tortoise, and I can make sure that Bella's tail doesn't come off at the end there, and I know that I'm going to be able to see both of those in there, and I can make sure that I've got a decent height there as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in place, and I'm going to, I should have opened this up first, but never mind. I'm using basic black Archival ink. Okay. That's good. First time I've used this actual stamp. But yes, stamped beautifully. I should have removed my pencil marks, but I'm not going to try and move those on the sides because it does take the ink a little bit of time to dry. Okay, I will come back and do that bit later. Right, so I'm going to colour this, and I'm going to use my marker pens. As I say, I've not coloured these before, so I'm not quite sure on the tortoise. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Crumb Cake and Soft Suede. If I do Soft Suede for the dark bits in the shell and him. In fact, I'll do the dark bits in the shell, and that will tell me how dark it's going to come up to see whether it's too dark for the actual tortoise. Yes, I think it will be too dark. Okay, let's just do this bit round here. I don't want too much crumb cake on my tortoise. There we go. That'll be right. Okay, so let's do the rest of him in crumb cake, not his eye. I think that looks okay. Then his tail, his legs, or are they just feet? No, must be legs as well, mustn't they? There we go. A little bit of shading, yep. And Bella, now shall I do Bella Smoky Slate or Sahara Sand? I used to be indecisive. Let's do Sahara Sand. Bit of a funny colour for a dog, but I always think little dogs like this are lighter colours rather than, say, something like black or something really dark. Now this is going to be interesting. I've often wondered whether you can erase pencil marks once you've painted on top of them. I'm about to find out. Right, his collar and the little heart there, I'm going to do that in Pacific Point. Okay, so that's Bella, all done, all okay. If I need to do any more, I can come back and touch it up later. Right, now just the collar and the little heart, and now the grass. And what I do when I've got grass like this to colour, I just do straight lines to follow the lines of the actual stamp. There's no right and wrong way. It is nice to have some grass there. It does help to keep them grounded rather than floating mid-air. I was also thinking that with these things you could actually build up a complete picture underneath here, and what a lovely surprise that would be as the recipient opened it up. Right, okay, so that's that one. That's done. Let me put this bit up here, then we can move down to the window down here. Let me get my silicone mat so I can put some Tombow on this. If you prefer to use something like snail or fast fuse, please do. Or our fine tip glue, that would work. Now in some places this has come out a little bit on the thick side, so rather than running the risk of that coming over on my work, what have I done with my tweezers? Why do they always go walkabouts? Let's use this spare. Right, so what I'm going to do is, on my scrap of paper, just give it a bit of a squash down. Put that in the bin so I don't put something on it. And then I'm just going to line that side, the top, bottom, and then that. That needs to come down a little bit. You can see a little bit of glue come up there. If I haven't got rid of all of it, I'll go over with my eraser. Looks as if I just scratched that with the tweezers. I think the line is, yeah, the pencil line is going. So there we go. If you answered yes, you can remove it. Well done, top of the class, you got it right. So there we go. I need to do the white marks around here, and I do use a ruler for this, and you'll find that there's a little impression there from your die, and that's the line that I follow for going round this window. I know some people say that, you know, they don't worry about using a ruler. After all, it is a handmade card, which is true. But I feel there's enough things about the card that say that it's handmade that I think it's worth taking the extra little bit of trouble to get these lines straight. If you don't like the faux stitches, you could do another frame like on the inside of the card, because where it's got like that bit there and you've got these, you'd have a bit of a contrast, because all of a sudden it would run out, wouldn't it? The design would run out. I don't think I explained that very well, did I? I know what I mean. Right, I think my pen must be running out now. It's getting a little bit troublesome at some spaces. Right, that's okay. Now I'm going to do the window down here, and I'm using the classic label punch, which is that one. What I'm going to do is, as you know, I do struggle with straight, so I'm just going to use my pencil and I'm going to mark up 1 inch and 1 inch from here. If you can see a straight line, you probably don't want to bother doing this, but now that I've done that, I can see my 2 pencil marks there and there, and I'm also trying to get the same gap there as I am down there. So let me tilt this to get the pencil marks. There's that one and that one. Right, I think that's okay. Let's go for it. Now doing the straight line, the faux stitching round here is a little bit more tricky. But you just have to eyeball it and guess your distance from the edge to your ruler. And then of course you've got the 2 points to do, one either end. But it's a lovely, lovely, easy card to make. You just need to be pointed in the right direction about how to get round doing an image that's bigger than the actual window. But if you follow what I've said, you'll get success every time. Those little pointy bits are difficult. You probably know that I use my Stamp-a-ma-jig quite a bit. I think it's an absolutely brilliant tool. There we go. That's not too bad. A little bit of a furry cut there. Don't know why that would be, but never mind. I'm not going to worry. Now the sentiment I've got there, I've got on my Stamp-a-ma-jig template, and it is from. Oh, let me show you. I didn't show you Bella and Friends, did I? Okay, so this is the one that I've used there. It's a cute set, that one. And the Happy Birthday I've got from Party Pandas, that one there, which is one of the sets you can choose as a free gift for if your order is over £45. So that is so cute. Right, so with this one you can paint the stamp through the window. Let's get that ready first. Just make sure I've got it up the right way. Okay, so I'm just going to line my Happy Birthday up in the window, and then when I'm happy with that, again, if you're happy that you can stamp straight into this, you go for it. But I mustn't forget to show you the one that I did wrong. Right, okay. A little bit panicky about whether I've got it up the right way or not. There we go. So spot on. So I think that is my card finished now, isn't it? Done that, absolutely. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. There's the kitten and the puppy, and this is the other one that I did earlier. I've used Artistically Asian. Oh, here it is, hold on. If I don't fall off my chair reaching across for it. There we go, that's Artistically Asian. And I used that one. And I painted the actual stamp. This is another one. It's bigger than the actual window, so when this one gets opened up, it's got nice big. That I used, I think that was soft suede, wild wasabi, and this colour here is flirty flamingo. So that was that one. But I made a mistake with the happy birthday, really wasn't happy with it. So what I did was I stamped it on another piece of Whisper White, punched it out again with the same punch, and then I had the card down like that, and I fitted it in through the window, and I just sort of eased it down so that I could open up the card and then I could press it down properly inside there. So it does mean that that one's on cardstock, but I don't think that spoils or detracts from the card. Okay, so that gives you an idea what it looks like if you don't stamp a black image and then colour it. And 3 colours for you as well. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. And don't forget, if you shop in January, which is January 2018, your name will be put in a draw to win this stamp set and this set of dies, which are all the large letters. I think I can just reach across and get my large letters to show you the actual dies, because you get 37 altogether. This is how I store mine. It's on a sheet of cardboard that I've put some a magnetic sheet on. But as well as getting all the letters, you get the ampersand sign, bracket sign, exclamation mark, question mark, plus sign, and equals, and these bits. Okay, so that's what the as you can see, a lot of dies there, which is why it is so expensive, but it's a great set to add to your stash. So if you want to be in with a chance, shop in my shop and your name will go into a prize draw. As I say, the link is in the box below. If you've enjoyed my video and you would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally on Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button. And all the measurements and the products that I've used here I will put in the box below as well. And I think that is probably about it. So many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.